have recreated one of the best browser games in history, Storm the House, but made it first-person horror shooter with artificial intelligence enemies. And in case you never heard of Storm the House, I'll try to elaborate the idea in just 10 seconds so I don't waste your time. Storm the House is a base defense game where your house gets rushed by enemies and you can shoot them by clicking. You can unlock new weapons and upgrades by purchasing them from the store at the end of each level. The plan is to recreate most of the mechanics, but in a first-person shooter game where you shoot scary monsters. You see, it all started more than 4 years ago, when I first created this YouTube channel to document the progress I make on my game. It was truly an ambitious project, an RPG-based defense game where you can upgrade your team, fuse crew members together to craft new and stronger soldiers, upgrade your weapons, your slay, various bosses with Undertale-like mechanics, and much more. Well, that game never saw light and was abandoned in its early stages, but then I decided to take another attempt at developing a game. An open-world survival game this time, with a top-down view and pixelated graphics to hide the inconsistencies of the free assets I got on Asset Store. Well, this game didn't get finished either, lol, but about a year later, prepared, full of motivation and confidence in my improved skills, I decided to resurrect the survival game, but now with good-looking graphics and animations, which were also from the Asset Store, but this time I bought them. I told you this time I was prepared. Spoiler alert, this project was also abandoned. I think by now a pattern seems to emerge. I announce and hype up a project, get stuck in development hell, and abandon the project. So this time, I decided to make something actually playable, and if you're generous just enough, it might even be called a game, and announce it only when it's ready. Almost ready. Okay, I think that's enough exposition, so time to get to the actual project. I used an existing framework for the character controller, and after modifying it a bit, I was able to have various weapons, switch between them, and a basic shooting mechanic, but it was lacking a kick to it. Lord Gaben once said,
and I've never thought to myself that realism is fun. I go play games to have fun. And so we had to come up with some notion of what fun was. And it was the degrees to which the game recognizes and responded to the player's choices and actions. If you shoot at a wall, there have to be decals. If you kill a bunch of Marines, the Marines have to run away from you, right? You have to have this sense of the game acknowledging and responding to the choices and actions and progressions that you've made.
So that's what I decided to do next. I made it so various surfaces will result in different bullet holes and particle effects when shot, as well as adding a muzzle flash, which immediately made this demo feel more like an actual game. Well, maybe not yet, but it was time to make it sound like an actual game as well. Together with the chat on stream, we made some shooting and reload sound effects for the demo. Considering I never really add sound effects to my projects, it was surprisingly fun. We used an AI tool to generate various sound effects, listening to usable moments in the generated clips, and merging different bits together into an amalgamation of sounds which, not gonna lie, seemed to fit quite well. Check them out yourself. Okay, so we'll start with the last. The MK18. So the MK18 silenced sound effect. Without a silencer. Nice. Now, reload animation. Now, next one is the AK. Silenced. Without a silencer. Animation. Nice. Pistol. Silenced. Without a silencer. Reload. The pistol was the very first one we made, so it might sound a bit sketchy, but the AK reload SFX is by far my favorite. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the sound effects. Now, shooting feels better, but there was one obvious thing missing: stuff to shoot at. For the enemies, I used yet another asset, an alien-like spider creature with procedural animations, which definitely didn't consume all the FPS in my game and didn't cause any problems later on.
And let me just check the performance. CPU 50%, memory 30%, GPU 20%, and the other GPU 40%. So my question is, what is consuming so much computational power that it...
Anyways, as I mentioned in the very beginning, the enemies will be controlled by artificial intelligence, which means they had to learn all by themselves what their purpose is in the simulation. Initially, I was planning on having NPCs that you can hire to help you fight the monsters, and the enemies would be able to attack not only the base but also the shooters, but then I remembered that I actually want to finish this dumb project, so I guess no shooters for now, lol. But if you like AI shooters so much, I heard Season 2 of AI Wars is coming soon, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Enemies will be training using reinforcement learning and will be rewarded for getting closer to the base, and eventually attacking it. After a few hours of training, I got this awesome alien-like twitching movement, which honestly fits perfect with this creature, and would be a pain in the ass to code myself. Huh. Would you look at that, my AI can actually be useful, lol. There will be 3 different enemy types, the main distinctions being their color, damage they deal, move speed, and health points. I quickly yoinked the enemy wave system that I made in the tower defense video, and after modifying it a bit, I got it working, and now I can control what monsters, how many of them, and how frequent they would spawn. In order to win, you've got to complete all the waves, and if your base gets destroyed, you lose. A simple but efficient game loop. A big part of Storm the House was the store, where you could upgrade and repair your base or get new weapons, so I did just that. Now we have Greg and Gregos, who will sell you different weapons as well as allow you to replenish and improve your base health points. And don't you even try telling me it looks awful, we gotta be thankful it's even working, okay? Lastly, I got peer pressured on stream to make a bread-centered map as well. Yeah, I don't know either, but anyways, if you find the hidden button in the main menu, you will be able to play this abomination and finally shoot a modded baguette, as well as enjoy a nice view of Greg's buns. I was so focused on whether I could do that I completely forgot to think whether I should do that. Well, anyways, now this exists. So, the game ended up playable. You can shoot enemies, you get coins, so I guess that's a success, right? Nobody said it has to be good. Anyways, I would really want to take a moment to thank all of you for 25,000 subscribers. We are only at the very beginning of a very long and interesting adventure, so stay tuned. Making YouTube videos is my dream and passion, and you are the ones allowing me to do that. So thank you, and a huge thanks to the Patreon subscribers and the channel members. You guys are legendary and your support means a lot. Alrighty, if for any sick reason you want to try this game out, the itch.io link is in the description below. Now it's time for me to get back to my little AI friends, since it looks they are having an argument. Bye!